Goodness gracious. Mr. Frederick, how you doing, man? How was your 4th? Ooh, it's hot here. It's open. How we doing? I'm on, but it's okay. What's up? Talk to me. Oh, is it? Okay, I got you. I'm gonna limit it to an hour today.
Okay.
Awesome, thank you. Michael, how you doing? Welcome. All right. I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes. There's only 3 of you guys on right now, so I'm gonna give it a few minutes. That way, I don't have to repeat things and whatnot. Hopefully, everybody had a nice 4th. I didn't. Oh, that's nice. Good. I'm glad you're able to do that, David. Got people messaging, of course. Mr. Welsh, how you doing, my brother? Mitch, what's going on, brother? Rick, how are you? The crew is down 2 men. One called in this morning and one messaged late last night to say they aren't coming in today. So, Steven, how are you? It's a beautiful Monday over here. We had probably one of the busiest weekends we've had in a while. Thank you for all of you that put orders in. Cliff, welcome. How you? Thanks, Cliff and Ryan. You guys, Jeff, for representing Team US Amps at the Liberty Base meet or show this weekend. I'm sorry, I'm not really familiar with it. Thank you guys for representing Team US Amps. I heard a lot of good things from, saw some posts and saw some things that were not of Team US Amps saying good things about the Cobra, obviously, Cliff and Jeff's vehicle, but also Ryan Schwegman's truck, his Toyota. I think it's a Toyota. Apparently, JP himself got a demo of Ryan's truck and was impressed by the mids and highs. He didn't. I don't think he knew it was all US Amps mids and highs. That's pretty funny. Maurice, how you doing? What size? I ordered another 10K. What size battery should I be using? I have 3, 4. Well, I don't. Steven, I apologize, but I don't know how many 10Ks you have total. Let's just. A good rule of thumb is if you're okay, you have 3 Merlin 10Ks. That's very easy to answer. So, try to look at it as your 10K being closer to a 20K because that's what it's going to produce. If you're wiring it at 1 ohm, which I doubt anybody is. Everybody's wiring it at half, even if the amplifier wasn't made to do so, but it is. So being that it is made to produce more efficient power at half ohm, you're going to want to make sure that you have the amperage to provide what the amplifier needs. So a lot of people are confused by how an amplifier creates power, and without digging too far into the weeds, let me say this. It's not just voltage. Hey, Mr. Christopher, John, how you doing? Orlando, welcome. Mr. Swain, how are you? It's not just voltage. Julio, what's up, man? We were just texting. It's not just voltage that makes power. It's amperage that creates wattage, and in the way that amplifier upsteps voltage and then turns it into usable power. But again, without digging too far into the weeds, let's just say, to make things easier mathematically, because I'm no math wizard. If my phone didn't have a calculator on it, I'd be shit out of luck many days. But to make it easy, let's just say that our Merlin 10K is 100% efficient. It's not, but it's very close. But just to make it easy, let's say it's 100% efficient. So to make 15,000 watts, you need 1,500 amps at X amount of volts, okay? What the voltage is on most vehicles, 14.2 to 14.8, most vehicles charge within that range, most of the newer vehicles with a stock alternator. So let's just say that the 10K needs 1,500 amps. So if you have 3 of them, you're going to need something that's going to be capable of producing 1,500 amps times 3 consistently. And that's only dedicated to your 10Ks. I think you said you had 3 400 amp Mechmans, excellent alternators. I don't refer and I don't sell anything but Mechman, and there's a reason for that. I'm open to products. I'm open if somebody, I think I've installed a JS alternator here in Destiny Trimnel's Del Sol that we built, the Des Sol here. And that was because I think Jeffrey and them, they have a relationship with the guy that has or owns JS alternators. I have no negative things to say about the equipment or the experience that I had with the owner. He seemed to be very helpful and trying, but I know from the tests that I was doing before we had product here, I took a shot at building a couple alternators, and I learned a lot about them. There's a guy down south of here in Newport Richey that is like the the alternator guru, and I brought a few to him for repair, and then I brought a few cases to him for building, and he showed me a lot. Most alternators, and that's why there's a lot of companies that you see come and go, most alternators are not really built. They're just a stock alternator, maybe with an upgraded hairpin and then a smaller pulley on it, and that kind of tricks the alternator into winding higher and producing more voltage and a little bit more amperage. Most of the alternators that I tested back in the day when I was doing that didn't produce anywhere near the amperage that they claim. Aside from Mechman. Mechman are very close to what they claim. And aside from that, I've been using them for over 30 years now, and I have no issues with, if they don't offer something, I can message or call Joey over there, or Tony, and they make things for us, just because of the relationship I had with MJ Customs back in the days, and now, owning US Amps. So moving forward, if you have 3 400 amp Mechmans, you're going to need something just for your 10Ks that will produce 1,500 amps for each 10K consistently. There's very few people that are buying our 5Ks and 10Ks that are getting them just because they want to have the power on tap. Most people, once they get it and they get it set up, whether they know what they're doing or not, the first thing you do is get in there and fucking full rip, turn that motherfucker up and let it eat, and let's see what it does, right? I mean, it's human nature. That's what we do. If not everybody, then I'm going to say 90-something percent. Yes, Rigo, I will. That's something that I mention almost every Mondays with Mike. I thank the guys at Glow Voltage and then also Trunk Thunder Lithium, but Rigo brought up something that he wanted to collaborate with Seth and the team over at Glow Voltage, and we're going to be doing some testing and produce hopefully some videos and some instructional information regarding electrical support, amperage, voltage, and what is required, or what's needed to make the type of power that we're dealing with. Because the thing I don't think a lot of people understand is, hey, I had a 6K insert name brand here, and I took that out and I put your 5K in, and your 5K keeps shutting off. No shit. That's because that amplifier is rated at 5,000 watts at 1 ohm. It creates over 5,000 watts at 1 ohm. At half, it's in the 8,500 range. So let's go back to that mathematical equation. If it was 100% efficient, it would need 8,500 or 850 amps to produce 8,500 watts. I don't care what you say. Your bank, unless it's a glow bank, and you've heard it from Seth himself, because he does the testing. Go to his YouTube channel, man. He's done a lot of good informational testing, and that's why I think Rigo's going to reach out to him, and we're going to be doing something, a collaboration together with our Merlin amplifiers, showing what it takes to create that kind of real power. Now, the amplifiers, because of what we've done power supply wise, if you look at the power supply of our 5K and 10K, you can see the difference between ours and other equipment. But there's only so much capacity that our amplifier can do. There's only so much that the overbuilt power supply can do. We're going to be reliant upon the glow voltage bank to give us that amperage and voltage when you guys are turning the volume up, okay? And if it's not there, the amplifier is going to utilize what's stored in the power supply or the rail caps, because if you look, it's there, but it's not there consistently. If you're running, for instance, if you're running bottom out, 2 minutes or longer, or most of you guys are playing clip signals and don't even realize it because you're using a multimeter to set up your head unit and then your amplifiers. Don't use a multimeter to set up your equipment. Please don't. That doesn't show you anything. It can, if you know what you're doing, but you have to understand things before you get to the point to where you're utilizing a multimeter to set up your amplifiers. If you have multiple amplifiers, it's even worse. To use it for comparison, back in the day, well, maybe I'm showing my age here, but when you have something that has dual carburetors on it, if they're not exactly in sync, the thing don't run right. It might run, but it's not going to run right. It's not going to create the kind of power that it should. Same thing with our amplifiers. They're fucking built, and the power supplies are heavy. They're overbuilt, and we did that for a reason. We did that because we wanted, with support of a good LTO bank like the new chemistry that Seth has introduced me to, and I'm waiting on these cells, and we're going to release to the world. Brendan has 2 banks in his car, and on the meet every Thursday night, where he used to have, I think, 190 amp hours of CMAX, and he would keep the car running and play and demo. Now with 2 of those 120 amp hour LTO banks, he turns his car off and demos for the time he's there, which sometimes is over 2 hours, and the bank doesn't go down, not even a full volt. These banks are not only the discharge rate is extremely, because of the internal resistance or lack thereof, or the difference in internal resistance between this cell and the normal LTO or the other, like LifePo or Headway banks cells. There's some tests that need to be done to show everybody, but the internal resistance of these cells is lower. And guys, please, I'm trying to use these Mondays with Mike for informational videos and to try to teach things. Don't come on here and ask about equipment, especially if we talk personally one-on-one. Please, please. Anything that you guys order, for those of you that don't know, I'm building it. If you've asked me to build something, I'm trying my best. Subwoofers, right now we're behind because Precision Econowind hasn't sent us the voice coils that we ordered 3 months ago. I'm not going to just throw a piece of shit Lord of Bass voice coil in your subwoofer. I'm sorry, I won't do it because it's going to end up back here when it blows up. With amplifiers, if you paid for something, I don't want your money. I want our brand to be relied and thought upon as one of the best brands out there, and I'm trying my best to do that. But I'm also only one person. So if you've just ordered something and I told you I'm going to do something, that's all I have is my word. I'm going to try my best to do so, okay? But it is Monday. We are short 2 people, so we're just another day behind. I'm trying my best. We will get caught up, and we will provide your equipment. If you've ordered something, we want to get it to you, okay? Thank you. Now, back to what I was saying. The power supplies of our amplifiers are overbuilt for a reason, but we need the support to be able to continually produce that power. Now, will the amplifier continue to work? In most cases, yes, it will because of the overbuilt power supply. But what happens is when you start to lose the voltage, the amplifier tries to pull more amperage to make up for it. And when that's not there, the amp starts to get hot. It's going to continue to work, but what you're not realizing is at that point, even if you've taken the time to set everything up properly and you know what you're doing, because a lot of you I've seen by your messages don't really know, and I'm still learning too. This is not me picking on people. This is me trying to open your mind to allow and get your fucking ego out of the way long enough to learn something. If you are in a room of 100 people and you think you're the smartest person in there, you got something to fucking learn, my friend. Okay? I was that way for 35 years of my fucking life, and it's no way to be. You're never gonna learn, and you're always gonna be in your own way. No matter how much money you make, no matter how many friends you have, no matter how big your dick is, you're always gonna be in your own way. Okay? Try to open your mind and listen to what's around you. Shut your fucking mouth for a minute and try to listen to those that are trying to teach you, because you can learn something from almost anybody in the room, regardless of whether you think they're smarter than you or not. They might have some life experience that maybe you can use. So, moving forward, a lot of people think they know that they've set up their head unit properly, or they've set up their amplifier properly. Trevor, what's up, buddy? Trevor from, what is it? All About Car Audio? I'm sorry. All things car audio. Thank you, Trevor Moon, for the not only the nice care package that you've sent us, but thank you for taking the time to produce the open box videos and the other informational videos that you're sharing about our equipment. He was doing that before we even met, and his opinions are completely unbiased, and I appreciate that. We also have actually, I see his name right here, Douglas Bruce. So Douglas introduced himself to me last week. I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm just going to roll with it. Douglas introduced himself to me last week and has equipment that I don't have. Equipment that build houses have, audio precision meters, and he obviously has the technological or technical skill to utilize the equipment properly and produce information from testing an amplifier that I don't have. So moving forward, we're going to be sending equipment to Douglas, and he's going to provide the information that we've already shared for our 100HC, SQ442, 50HC, 500HC, all of the audio precision 2322 parameters or specifications that we've shared to you. You know, that's on our website and we've shared over and over again on Facebook. We're going to be sharing again because now Douglas is going to be testing the equipment over again. He's found with his equipment that maybe some of those numbers weren't quite accurate, but that's not the point. The point is I want, just like Rawcat, you see Rawcat is testing equipment. I want everybody to test our stuff. I'm not pulling any punches, man. I don't want to pretend to be the best. I don't want to pretend that our Timber 8 or Timber 3 is the best 3-inch speaker. I don't want to pretend. I think I've already designed that. But moving forward, there's always room for improvement. So if there's something that I can do to make this better, as long as it doesn't present a cost issue to where this is going to end up being, you know, $1,000 3-inch speaker, which will never sell. There's a line of what do they call that? Something about a line of where it doesn't make sense anymore to move forward because the cost outweighs the good that it's doing for the product. You understand what I'm saying? So I can build and design a $20,000 3-inch speaker, but how many we're going to sell? That was the point of our Timber and actually everything that we release here. As an owner, I have to make that decision when it's time to pump the brake or pull the e-brake and say, hey, you know what? This is it. This is the best we can make at this price because, A, we still have to make a couple bucks. And I've already shown, and I think I've shared with most of you that our sales have more than quintupled in less than a year. And that's, I think, based on our customer service, based on our honesty, and based on our products. But moving forward, we do have to make money, and we're not really doing that. And the point is that a lot of equipment that's been damaged in the field because of mistakes on the customer's part where I've replaced it and probably shouldn't have, those things are going to start changing. Sam is taking over at Suncoast Amp Lab. He's going to be taking care of all of the warranty and refurbishments moving forward. A lot of that stuff I was doing for free. I can't do it anymore. I just can't. As if we want to move forward and stay a company, I still, diminishing return. Thank you, Keith. You are correct. At the point of diminishing return, that's what I was trying to think of earlier. Thank you. Oh, Dominic's on here. Love you, Dom. Thank you for joining all the way from Germany. I have to, as a company, I have to kind of stop being so kind when it comes to the person that blows up 5 442s in a row because they're not reading their owner's manual or paying attention to the typing that I'm giving you. I mean, there's nobody, almost nobody that I ignore. If you get nasty with me or say, you know, rude shit, or you message me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to block you. But most of you guys have my personal cell phone number, and that's for a reason, because I care about my brand and I want to make sure that you guys you're armed with the information necessary to obtain and achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve with our equipment. I believe that we've given you that. Everything that we've released is the best that it can be. There are issues with things, or there are things that I find later that I'm trying to fix. That's with everything. Shit, I'll name them out loud. If you guys look at the Timber set, the Timber 4 doesn't look like the rest of the speakers. There was a reason for that. The point of diminishing returns. We would have had to open a tooling for a basket like this for the 4. And unfortunately, or fortunately, Dynaudio already had these baskets for every size except for the 4. It was going to cost an additional $12,000, $12,800 to open a tooling for the 4. And then I was going to have to do the same with the magnet. And then the Spider. There was a lot of things involved to where it was going to end up to where the Timber 8 was going to have to cost me over $1,000 a set, which means obviously, you know, we got to charge more. So it didn't make sense. But that always bothered me. It bothers me that the Timber 4 doesn't look like the rest of the speakers. It bothers me, like Trevor caught the difference between the Impact 100.4 and the Impact 1000.1. I know that's there. It's minimal, but it's an aesthetic difference that bothers me. Unfortunately, again, the point of diminishing return, we couldn't keep the amplifiers at this price and open a tooling for both heat sinks to be changed and be the same. Dirk had caught on the 100.4 that the thermistor was not coming in direct contact with the heatsink to where it was going to be usable for what it does. The thermistor is for lack of better terms, is a kind of like a thermometer that gauges the temperature of the heat sink and lets the amp know, or the protection circuit know when to, hey, it's time to turn the fuck off. You know what I mean? Anyway, so we ended up, ADS had another 100.4 heat sink that we could use, and that's what we ended up using. It's a little bit different than the 1000.1, but we're working on that as well. There's going to be a version 2, just like there's a version 2 that we're working on of the 100HC. Excuse me, sorry. I don't think it's any secret. Sam is working on a version 2 of the 100HC. Shit, the Prodigy, back when he was here, had worked on a version 2 of the 100HC. We did replace not just the rail caps, all of the capacitors with Nichicons on the 100HC, but the 100HC ended up making 300 watts less than our current version. David Stevens, I don't know if you're on here, buddy. For those of you that don't know David, you'll see him in some of the amplifier groups. He's an older gentleman. He's definitely old school, but he knows his shit. I think he had something to do, and maybe this is just him talking, I'm not sure. I think David Stevens had something to do with the design of the old punch amps. I have David currently working on, in addition to Sam, working on the version 2 of the 100HC. Moving forward, as a company, we can only have so many products. I want somebody to be able to go on usampsinc.com and to be able to order your entire system, US amps, from the wire to everything. But if I can't, or we can't as a company relate and receive everything, or offer everything the best that it can be, then I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to offer cheap, shitty RCAs just because I want to offer RCAs. So again, point of diminishing return. I got to pump the brakes at some point. So moving forward, right now, what we're working on is, I've just placed a secondary order for Merlin 5K and 10Ks. Ordered another 200 of each. Thank you guys for your orders. It was a hellacious weekend as far as orders go, and I really appreciate it. This is probably the biggest order weekend we've ever had. It was, I think, 83 orders this weekend, and that's not even including the list that I have in my pocket from those of you that I was talking to and messaging. I think I have another, let's see here, Timber 6, VLX, 2 100.6, 2 SQ442, 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 100.6. Yeah, I mean, I have probably another 7 or 8 orders here, and I saw when I opened up GoDaddy this morning that we have orders coming in today. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate all the love and support, as does, Rigo and the rest of the team. The only thing I am going to say is, moving forward, we're not doing pre-orders ever again. We did have a lot of issues when it came to the company, Seongson, getting the equipment here when they said, getting the equipment done when they said. They have made a promise of 10 to 12 weeks this time. But, the promise means nothing until words mean nothing. Actions mean something, right? Okay, so moving forward, we're going to try our best to make sure that we have equipment, we don't run out of equipment, and I don't want to take anybody's money for something that we don't have, except for custom built equipment. The VLX 400s that we're only offering 30 of, and now I think we have 11 or 12 left, that is a custom built piece of equipment. If you order it, you go to usampsinc.com and you click on buy. If you 2 weeks later go back and refute or dispute your charges, shame on you. And that's been done for, I think, 5 or 6 times now. Somebody just did it last week. And for those of you that don't know, owning a business is pretty tough. This industry alone, in itself, is even more difficult and dealing with the people can be cumbersome, to say the least. But when somebody takes the time to call, I mean, I spoke to this guy hours on end about his stories with US Amps, his cousin that had the kickers that broke the windshield. You guys have all heard the stories, but trust me, being the owner of US Amps, everybody has a story about how they met Dirk, or how they had a 50HC that was running 2 kicker 12s that broke his cousin's windshield or something like that. Anyway, I spent hours on the phone with this guy for him to order a VLX 400. He knew what the story was from start to finish, how long it was going to take, and how much it means to us as a company to have people order something like that. And then also how much it means to Dirk. Like, he's the one that builds that amplifier. I don't touch the VLX 400. The VLX 400 was Dirk's idea. How we were going to do it, everything about it was Dirk's idea. So when somebody orders that goes to Dirk. All of the money's going to go to Dirk. But when somebody orders something like that, and I take the 2 500HCs out of inventory and then start taking them apart so everything can be sent to Dirk, and then a week later you go in and dispute the charges, Affirm or GoDaddy, WooCommerce, whomever you want to insert name of finance company here, they automatically take that money out of your account. And as a business owner, you have to prove that you've given the client or the customer that product. It doesn't matter what you say on your website. It doesn't matter that the person that purchased the VLX 400 knows that it's a minimum of 12 weeks. And I now say, shit, it could be double, triple that. I want Dirk to take his time because he's older and he's the fucking man. If you're having him, you should be honored that the man's going to build you an amplifier. I don't give a shit if he takes a fucking year. You know why? Because nobody else can fucking do it. That's why. The man loses me. And I don't find myself, I wouldn't call myself stupid, but I would not even come close to putting myself on the bottom rung of a ladder that man owns, much less is on, when it comes to technology. Okay? He gets frustrating even texting me and try to explain things. So just that you guys have the opportunity to have Dirk Ecker build you an amplifier should be enough. But yeah, I'm not going to put a time frame on that. So we're going to take that off of the website, the 12 weeks or whatever's on there. If you order that, you're going to understand what it is that you're getting, and you're going to be happy that you're getting it, because there's only, I think, 11 or 12 left, and that's it. They're not going to be made anymore. It does come with a custom box, not only a carrying case, but a storage case, because most of those aren't going to be used. That will have your name on it. We're going to go out of our way to make sure it's nice for you. So think about that when you're ordering a 200HC. All that stuff's custom made. Moving forward, until we can get our production order of the subwoofers here, which I can't currently do because I don't have an extra 200 grand laying around, especially now that we have to order more Merlin amplifiers. I'm excited about it. I love it. But as a company and a self-funded company, I haven't borrowed $1 million from anybody. I don't have somebody that has a blank checkbook that can just give me 300 grand to go buy subwoofers, or we would already have them here. But I will never do pre-orders again. Right now, what we're doing, so just so you guys can see, I'm going to show you. See the baskets? We have baskets here. We have spiders. We have cones. I mean, name it. We have all the parts here. We have the motors. I have boxes of motors back here. We are building subwoofers here in-house. Everything that somebody's ordering for a subwoofer is being built right here. You see them all over the place? They're all over. We are building them here. And moving forward until we can get the Merlins here, the rest of the Merlins here, now that we're placing this secondary order, the subs, I'll be honest with you, the Exterminator subs are probably not going to be here until the end of the year. But for those of you that have placed an order, reach out to me because I'm going to give you the option of letting me build the subwoofer for you here. Use it for the time being. If you're not happy with it, when the exterminators come in, I will swap you out. But it is what it is. The only difference is going to be the silk screening, because I don't have the ability to silk screen on a dust cap. You'll have the US Amps logo that we make out of the 3M vinyl, or we can come up with something else. I can airbrush or do something like that if you want something nice. I'm open, but I'm not going to spend $700 making you a $300 sub. It has to make sense, all right? So you guys be fair with me, and I'll always be fair with you. I'm not here to screw anybody over. I'm not here to take advantage of anybody. And if everybody doesn't know that by now, then you haven't been paying attention. I should not be struggling like we are as a company, considering the sales that we're doing. But that's a sign that we're not raping everybody. And I think you guys know that, and that's why you stay with us, and that's why our orders keep coming in, because you know you're getting a quality product at a price point that's fair. And that's all that I've wanted to do. So thank you guys. I didn't see anything in particular that you guys wanted to see this week, so I was just going to try to answer some questions. I know you guys, or hopefully you saw some of the posts that we have not only the X1 carbon, but I now have the H2C bamboo 3D printer here. We're doing a lot of the grills for the timbers. If you've already purchased a set of timbers and you need grills, I'm going to talk to Rigo. Maybe we'll put these on the website. I have the ability of doing multicolors. That does cost more because it takes more time. Not only time in CAD, but time for the unit to build. We can do a single color as well. These are for Ryan Schwegman. He loves red. Again, this is an 8. So what we've done is we've made provisions on the back side for neodymium magnets. Do I have them here? Yes. So I have some here. I've already done this. This is not a guess. Just like everything else, this is something that's gone through a process of R&D and design. You see these neodymium magnets? You can CA glue them in place. I'm not going to do it for you. No. Because it's too time consuming. There's other ways to do this. You can use Velcro. I've done it a couple different ways. But the best way, because our baskets are metal, this is not plastic, Jobby. Another thing about the timbers, the neodymium magnets stick to the metal. So we made provisions for 4 different size neodymium magnets, which are readily available on Amazon. I think I paid, $2.30 for like 100 of them. Every size has provisions for different size neodymium magnets. See, this has the size for this. You see this little one? We will, on our website, offer that size so you guys know what to order. But again, I'm not going to offer those for you. So I'm going to talk to Rigo, and we will discuss. Maybe you guys can even help me here. You know, what do you think? What should this be for a set of 8s? You know, I want it to be fair. Just so you know, this is about an hour of design and an hour per grill to print. I don't expect $200 a set. I'm not talking about that, but we have to be fair. You know, price wise, it's probably 30 cents in plastic. I'm not worried about that. I want a good, this is PLA, this is strong. I mean, you're not going to snap this or break this. And if it's in the sun, if it happens to be in the sun, I have a set in my Range Rover right now. They've been in there for going on 6 weeks, and they haven't fallen apart. They've been kicked. They haven't broken. Even this center that's very small or very thin, look, see it flexes? We've done that for a reason. It can get kicked without breaking. The sides are made out of HTPLA. You can't break, well, you can break it, don't get me wrong, but under normal abuse, it's not going to break or snap or fall apart. So we're going to offer those also. For those of you that want to utilize your timber mid-woofer and timber tweeter and put them together as a coaxial, that is what this is for. Oh, I should have brought a speaker here. Sorry, guys. So for the 8-inch and 6.5-inch mid-woofer, you can now, we're going to make them available on the website. Sorry, Rigo, I'm making more work for you, but I think that's going to be the easiest way. This lines up with the holes, the mounting holes for the timber. And it's, again, R&D. We've been through this. We know after break-in how much the suspension on the Timber 8 moves. We've allowed for the movement of the mid-woofer without hitting this tweeter bracket. We've also made a provision on the inside for the wire. Now when it gets to the edge here, it does have to run outside of the speaker basket a little bit, but you don't really see it. If you take your time, you can do it nice. We've already done it. We had them, we had, I think, 4 of these in Destiny Trimnel's Trailblazer at Made of Steel a few weeks ago or a month ago. It's been a while now, but we're going to make these available on usampsinc.com. So, Rigo, I see you guys talking about numbers there. I appreciate that, and I want you guys to discuss that, and we will put them available. If you want custom colors, obviously it's going to take a little more time, and it should be a little more money, especially if it's multiple colors, because I have to order the material and I have to take the time to set it up in CAD. But I'm open to doing anything that gets your build the way you want it. I think that's how it should be. Okay? Also, moving forward, a lot of you guys don't know, a few years ago, when I was working strictly on design, we had an investor at the time, and he told me to just keep designing and we were going to keep coming out with products. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, so I had to shelve these. But I did design a compression driver that has the ability to be taken apart and rebuilt fairly easy. But this has the capacity of 600 watts RMS, anywhere over 1500 hertz up to 20,000 hertz. The higher the crossover level or cutoff, sorry for the improper terminology, the higher the hertz, the higher the frequency, the more power you can give it. But upwards 600, 700, 800 watts. So we've designed a lens with the US Amps logo. I don't know if you guys can see that there. For the 1.5-inch throat. For those of you that like that type of sound, I don't particularly care for it, but who am I to say what you put in your system? Some people like these for outside. We can make these waterproof, and these lenses can be designed many different ways. It doesn't have to be this long. The lens, that's what this is called. The way this is designed changes how it sounds. The grooves, and there's many different things that change that, but those can be designed for your system, and I'm open to doing that, but it takes time, and please be aware of that. I'm not going to build and design something like this for your system and spend hours on it, and you're going to be mad if I charge you $50. It's going to be a little more than that, especially if it's designed custom for you. But I'm just saying this is something that we're going to offer, okay? If you see this here, this is a lens that's been designed and 3D printed. It has a 2-part throat that allows you to turn the lens depending on how it's in the vehicle. This is what's in the Z-Tony 8. And this goes over, and this is how it stays on the lens itself. It's captured there. So we have many designs and many options for our Team US Amps and US Amps family. Keith, welcome, man. How are you? Travis Greenhorn, how are you? Matt Pecor, Alex Gallardo, what's up, buddy? So I will allow and trust Rigo to put on our website what he thinks the set is. Now, I think we should probably offer these a la carte, but in a pair. In a pair. So if you're buying 1/8, it's going to be 2. You're buying 2. I don't know many people that are buying a single 8 or a single 6 or 6.5 or a single 4. So let's just offer it like that, Rigo. But there's so many options that we have to try to limit that because it gets confusing on the website. Nicholas Peretti, what's up, buddy? Cam, what's up, buddy? If it's multicolor like this, it has to be more than a single color. A single color is easier and takes less time. So kind of think about that, please, when you're making pricing, and I will trust you for that. What else? I did have a few people ask about the fuse banks, the A&L fuse holders. I only have a few of these here, and I ordered these for somebody in particular. This is a 3-bank, and I have a 2-bank here. They were ordered for someone, and then he didn't want them. I have a few each of these in the Merlin. They are available because I don't use fuses. I think I have 3 of the 3 position and 3 of the 2 position. If you guys want something custom, please, 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 go to Chris Reisenauer at Reisenauer Designs. I've given him carte blanche to use all of our designs and give you, the Team US Amps member, team pricing or whatever his pricing is. I don't need to make money on it. I want you guys to have what you want for your build and have it be custom. So go to Chris Reisenauer, Reisenauer Designs, and tell him that Mike sent you, or one of us, Rigo, Jason, any of the team sent you to order your custom A&L fuse holder or any other parts or pieces that he makes for US Amps. Renee, how are you, bud? I'm going to apologize. I am kind of embarrassed that, sometimes I get a little frustrated and aggravated, and I've responded to a few people probably in a way that's less than professional. Sometimes people over and over again will ask the same thing, and it reminds me of my kids when they were, 10, 12 years old. Mom, 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 mom. That kid that doesn't know how to say excuse me or wait his turn when the adults are talking. That's what that reminds me of. When somebody asks for something over and over and over again. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not here to steal your money. I'm not. Because if I wanted to do it, I would do it and you wouldn't know. I'm not a thief. Those days of me being a bad person are far, far from over with. And if you guys don't know that by now, you're not paying attention. But I don't purposely not fill an order. Jason doesn't purposely send you a red 442 when you asked for an orange. It just happens because Jason's pretty much here part-time. Thank you, Jason. I love and appreciate all of your help, brother. Just like all of my team. Rigo, Joey, Tony, Larry, Alex comes here and helps anytime he can. And he doesn't have to do that. He does it because I think he's just appreciative of the things that I've helped him with, and I didn't do that because I wanted something in return. But that also shows me the kind of person he is. So that means something to me. Nick, Peretti comes by and helps with electrical work here, you know, whenever, because, you know, I consider these guys friends, you know, regardless of how we met or whatever it is. You know, the USAM's failing, man. I take that shit seriously, but I have this board over here. I'm going to try to turn this around so you can see it. I put on here, like, in order what things that need to be done and things I'm kind of behind on. And these are all custom built, you know, amplifiers or subwoofers, things that people are waiting on that I need to get done. I do this to remember. And then I also put these nice little notes that people send me. Mike, and I do this because this stuff kind of makes me stressed. I don't like owing people things. And I definitely don't like you guys waiting on things. But that's part of owning a business. I can't always make everybody happy as much as and as hard as I try. But that's why I surround this stuff with these good notes. Look at this. Mike and team, thank you for your outstanding service at US Amps. Your attentiveness and dedication to my satisfaction went above and beyond. I am a huge fan of the brand's performance and your exceptional customer service. Keep up the great work. I'm not going to say his name because maybe he doesn't want everybody to know. That stuff, man, that means something to me. That makes me happy. Mr. MJ, thanks for all that US Amps does. Please update these LH12s to Exterminator specs or trade in on Merlin subs, 12-inch or 15-inch. These have never been powered up. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff also sent a nice message. All the time we get this guy, Chris, who I've just met, sent in a non-functional old US Amps crossover to put on the wall. And he texted me, he said, hey man, I have this crossover. I'm going to send it to you. Just throw it on your wall because I love, you know, on Mondays with Mike, I love when you scroll around and I see all the amps on the wall. This is what Chris sent. You know what? I appreciate that stuff, man, you know? And I think, or I like to think that he did that because he knows how busy I am, but yet I still have taken the time to talk to him or text him personally. This is his tube amp that I'm putting together for him. I'm actually only waiting on Larry is going to cut me a brand new bottom plexi, but this has been completely gone through for him, and thank you. I think he has a different name online here, so a lot of people do that. See, All Things Car Audio, thank you, Trevor. LF Audio, Marius Dornine. I don't know that he particularly supports US Amps, but I support what I use and what I like. And I think the LF Audio knob is a little beyond most people's comprehension and understanding. And I think Marius is extremely intelligent and he forgets how smart he is compared to other people. The knob needs updates and you need to stay up with the updates or the knob can have issues. Make sure you stay up with your updates, please. But his technology is fucking amazing, and I'll always support the man, regardless. GS Audio, we used to get our soft parts. Initially, when we first started trying to redesign the Merlin X subwoofer, I was getting the soft parts from GS Audio. Can't do that anymore because of the tariffs now. The soft parts that used to cost around $700 now cost over $1,700. So I can no longer buy soft parts from Italy. We are getting everything now in the States. So, Seth, I talked to Seth at Glow Voltage a couple times a month. We're both very busy, but I try to support Glow Voltage as much as I can, not just because I like Seth personally, but because I like his products and I like the time that he takes in and puts into R&D and into learning more about his field. He's always doing tests on resistance and tests on voltage and tests on amperage. And that's extremely important to our industry and important to his products. And he does that for knowledge, and I love that about him personally. And plus, he's just a cool fucking guy. So I will always support the brands that I use and that I like. And I appreciate that Seth has given us US Amps the opportunity to use this new chemistry that he shared with me a few months ago, and we've tested, and now I think the new cells are here, and we are soon to start building these new banks, these new LTO banks for everybody. Everybody seems to think that they're finding them online, and I'm sorry, you're wrong. The stuff you're finding has a higher internal resistance than the cells that we are talking about. So I'm sorry, the stuff you're seeing is not the same. It might have a lower discharge rate as an LTO chemistry, which makes it similar, and the size might make it similar, and maybe even the discharge and recovery rate is similar. But that internal resistance being different, even if it's 0.2, even if it's 1,000th difference, it's still a difference. And I don't remember what the difference was. Again, this is not my forte, but when we thought that we had found them, I showed that to him, and immediately he showed me the difference between what it is that we're using and what it is that was found online. So hopefully we're only days away from building those banks and shipping them to people. Let's see. Let me try to catch up on some questions here. So I think a lot of you now are receiving or even using your Merlin 5K and 10K amplifiers. So I know in the beginning I did see a few people struggling with getting their amps to work. And I honestly think that's more because what we were just kind of talking about. They had a 5,000 watt amp, and they were replacing their 5,000 watt amp with a Merlin 5K, and they're wondering why it's not working. The Merlin 5K, you might as well figure it as a 10K, because that's the kind of support, electrical support, you're going to need to make it work properly. Will it work? Probably. Might it turn off? Probably. But if you have what it's needed to produce the type of power that it's built and designed to produce, you guys are going to have a fucking amplifier on your hands. And I think a lot of you that have the type of electrical support that's needed and are starting to use the amplifiers are seeing that. I haven't, the first couple days we're starting to see some, bitches and moans, but I think we've gone beyond that now, and people are realizing what they have. I think even a couple guys that don't particularly like me personally finally received their amplifiers and put them in their cars and are hitting some pretty good numbers with that. So I appreciate that, and good luck to you guys. And I don't hold grudges, man. If I block you personally on my cell phone, it's because I just don't have time to deal with nastiness, and I try to surround myself with positive only, because I'm old, I'm grumpy, and I'm stressed, and I don't need the bullshit. So I try to, my hard drive is literally teetering on overfilled, and I try to only allow the space in my hard drive for those that are either kind or appreciative or respectful, because I treat everybody like I want to be treated, and I don't put up with bullshit very well. So sorry if I blocked you. It's probably going to stay that way, but I will always deal with you on a business aspect, and I will always treat you with respect as long as you treat me with respect. Michael Stasny, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Newest member of the US Amps family. What's up, buddy? Let's see, we have some questions here. Maurice Little, what's up, man? How are you? Looks like a new name. Christian Koprova, how you doing, brother? Any questions? How was everybody's 4th? Hopefully everybody enjoyed their 4th. I think I said that in the beginning. I mentioned Glow, did that. We will be working with Seth at Glow Voltage to spec out daily sound quality, SPL, and balls out extreme built lithium solutions. Again, like I've said to Seth, I didn't order the cells because I want to make money. I don't want to start competing with other lithium companies. What I want is everybody that has a US Amps amplifier, I want them to have the proper amperage and voltage, or I want them to have the proper equipment to support the equipment that they're trying to use. Whether that's fusing, wire, battery, alternator, whatever it may be. So that's what we're trying to do. Jody Loudenslager, what's up, buddy? Glow Industries is watching. I love that. I love you guys over there, man. Oh, Douglas Bruce, there he is. Hello. Louis Martinez. People, gain is not a volume knob. It is not. It is not. Glow has some of the best fiberglass fuses on the market. That is true. They also have these ring terminals that utilize that same. There's some type of. It looks like a gold. I think it's a ceramic coating, and the resistance is literally next to nothing. Those terminals are key if you're going to utilize fusing. If you're going to utilize distribution blocks. If you're going to be using ring terminals and you're not using the ring terminals that Glow sells, you're missing out. Good morning, Harold. How are you? Peter, what's up, buddy? Loving my 5K. Thank you. Peter was either the first or second person to order a 5K, brother. I really appreciate all your patience and support. I'm planning on 700 amps per amp. Not US amps, but still, can't make power without power. That is true, Josh. Thank you, Josh. Josh Lane came out last week and tried to help me out with the new Bamboo H2C or H2D. I forget what the bigger unit is that I got, but I had to end up sending it back, and the new one is here. I got to get it upstairs here and get it working today. Let's see. Michael Rodriguez, welcome. Ben Defwagon, what's up, buddy? How are you? John Threcold, what's up, my brother? Oh, Daniel. That's Daniel from Glow. Right on. Daniel's joining us from Glow Industries. Daniel is also a wealth of knowledge. He's been there for a while. I will share that it takes power to make power, but with the bigger amplifiers, 500 HC, 5K, 10K, we're beyond LifePo. We are beyond Headway. 180 amp hours of Headway or LifePo 4 is not going to power a 500 HC. It might get it to turn on, but if you're going to try to push that amplifier, it will not work. Same thing with a 5K. 10K, forget it. Don't even bother. I guarantee you, I can shut an electrical system down if you're powering it with 180 amp hours of LifePo 4 with a 5K or a 500 HC. We've done it. We've done it here. So if you're planning on trying to use LifePo or Headway to power anything of ours that's bigger, you need to have, I don't know, somewhere in the 400 amp hour range, probably, 3, maybe 4 of the 180 amp hour banks tied together with at least a 400 amp alternator. I'll try it. I don't have any more of those cells. I think I only have a few Headway cells left. I don't want to utilize that anymore. It sucks. It especially sucks for those of you that have them. But it's just like anything else, man. It's part of the game. Ever evolving, Hey MJ, any news on my 10K and SQ442s? If they were just ordered last week, they are going to be built in order. If I made a promise to you, then that promise will be fulfilled. YouTube.com/Glow Industries. He has a lot of great information on there. Mike Beecraft, what's up, buddy? Mike, man, I gotta say thank you. Michael Beecraft was sent a Merlin 10K, and he didn't even order a Merlin 10K. And this guy reaches out to me and actually apologizes and then offers to send the amp back. That's cool, man. Thank you very much for your honesty. We actually right now have an amp that was sent to one of the people that ordered multiple 10Ks, and UPS is giving us some BS, saying that it was lost at the someplace in Arizona when it was being sorted. You would think in a box that size, should be easy to be seen if somebody's taking it or not taking it or it's going somewhere. Unfortunately, that's not going well, and that sucks. But moving forward, because that happened, the price for shipping is going up on the website for the Merlin 5K and to actually all of the equipment. I want to make sure because for those of you that don't know, even if you pay for extra insurance, if you don't pay for over what the equipment is valued at, you're going to go back and forth for 4 or 5 months. I've done this. This is not me just talking willy-nilly. This is me talking from experience. Unless you pay for extra insurance that is valued over what you're sending, you're going to go back and forth for 3 or 4 months, emails, phone calls, bullshit, sending information just to get $100 check. UPS will send you $100 check for a $3,000 amplifier. They fucking done it to me. So moving forward, I tried, I know a lot of you guys probably laughed at me because I put black tape over the Merlin and the US Amp stuff on the boxes. I didn't want to spend the money to put another box over already 2 boxes. They're safe inside there. I haven't had anybody receive anything damaged, but obviously now there's certain people that know, hey, that's a Merlin US Amp, and somebody took it. So moving forward, the shipping is going to include insurance that will cover the cost of replacement of the amplifier. I apologize, but again, I'm a small company. Losing an $1,800 amplifier hurts. Because I got to replace it, so now that's costing us $3,400, $3,500, and now I got to ship it too. So probably not a lot to some of you guys, but to me, that's a lot of money. Dominic, what's up, brother? Brian Reinhardt, what's up, my friend? Longtime friend. How are you? I'm glad you've joined us here. Junior Marquez, what's up? How are you? Hello from South Texas Car Audio. South Texas Car Audio, are you a US Amps dealer? It doesn't sound familiar. If not, you should be. Trevor Moon, there he is, my buddy. Trevor, I'm going to make a note and send you out a set of timbers for your little boombox experiment that you're doing. This is my note. Timbers. Trevor. Those will go out hopefully today. I'm a little behind and I'm short-handed, so I'll try my best. Steven Rogers, how are you? This Monday post is always information, educational. I try. Please, if you have ideas for next Monday, as much as I like to just sit here and run my mouth, I would love to offer information that I have that you guys don't have. I know a couple weeks ago we talked about slew rate and damping factor. If there's anything else that I have knowledge of that I can offer to you, I would love to share. So please, that's what we're trying to put together with the guys from Glow. Jason Flynn, welcome. David Anderson, I just showed off the SQ442 to my buddy who is an Audison dealer. Roger is super impressed with this piece of hardware. David, thank you. If he hasn't already, please have him look on the website, usampsinc.com, at the Audio Precision 2322 results of the SQ442. I know Rawcat did I don't know, he has very simple equipment for testing, but I know the SQ442 is the most powerful, the lowest THD Class AB 4-channel 1 ohm stable amplifier available. Are there more powerful ones? Yes, but not the cleanest. Ours is the cleanest, 0.09 THD. You're not going to find another amplifier that clean. That fan that's in there, you can unplug it. It's not necessary, and it adds noise to one of the channels. The noise floor on our US amps are some of the quietest amplifiers available. We're going to start, again, Douglas is going to start doing some more testing for us, and we're going to start releasing some more in-depth testing to show you the difference between US Amps amplifiers and other amplifiers. Not to pick on others, that's to show ours. Glow Industries, voltage times MOSFETs equals output. Output is constant. The lower your input voltage, the harder your MOSFETs work to produce the same output. And that's what creates total harmonic distortion. There's, I think, a variable missing there, but that's pretty darn close, if not accurate. Corey Webster, welcome. Always something to learn. Yes, absolute. Does he have a linear X? Douglas, I'm not sure if he has a linear X. Andrea Smith, welcome. Douglas Bruce, do you have a linear X? Somebody asked, Trevor asked. David Dahl, that looks like a new name, welcome. Keith Payne. Matt. John Christopher. Wayne Fowler Jr., welcome. I'm not putting the sats back in the amps. Not doing it. Joey Filter, what's up, my friend? How are you? See, yes, Rigo, the customers did hate the sat. Dirk said that. Nobody wants to hear exactly what they did wrong. And when you can literally show on a computer screen verbatim what they did wrong. They don't want to hear that. He said that created issues, many, many issues. Howard Woodward, what's up, buddy? Jimmy Simpkins. Roberto Adamzuela, welcome. 60 people right now watching, 67. Holy cow, that's amazing. I can't believe that many people want to hear me run my mouth, but it's appreciative. I really appreciate it. You've always been quick to respond to me and helpful. I always try to take into account the 2 or 3 hour time difference. Thank you, Harold. Yes, no, I try very hard to answer everybody that messages me. It's getting harder the larger we get as a company, but I still try nonetheless. Mike, you turn out some amazing products. You're helpful with anyone that needs. Appreciate how you help us all learn and the time. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you, brother. John Kelly, welcome. Tim Marion, what's up, my friend? Welcome. By the way, thank you for all your orders. Yes, I've said that, but I'll say it over and over and over again. Any blue coming? Any blue what? I'm not sure what you're asking for, Roberto Adamzuela, but I do have blue heat sinks here. I don't think I have one up here currently, but if you go on Facebook and put in US Amps Merlin Blue SQ442, I bet you that'll bring up a picture of the Cerakote blue that we have had some heat sinks done in to try to match the Merlin blue. It's not exact, but it is a blue. We have that blue, and we also have the 50HC blue, which if you go to usampsinc.com and look at the 50HC, you'll see that lighter blue. That is also another blue that we offer. Landon Kaysen, what's the difference between the 100HC and the version 1 and version 2? So currently, the only difference is the weight of the heatsink. It's about 1.3 pounds heavier, and it helps dissipate heat better. For those of you that have a 100HC and are using it on a subwoofer and have it at 2 ohm mono or 1 ohm stereo, you'll notice the amp gets very hot and might even sometimes thermal. The new version 2 heatsink allows that to not happen, especially with a fan. You can keep it on longer and it produces cleaner power because it's staying cool. We are trying to work on some other things internally to try to make the amp better. That's what David Stevens is here for. I'm not sure what he's found as of yet. We've been in contact. He's asked me to send him a couple of boards. He's working on some things. Him and Sam are both working on it. So I don't have an answer for you that yet, aside from the heatsink. Clint Jackson, welcome. John Kelly, can't wait to get those 15s hooked up with my 500HC and my Blazer. Oh, John, I'm assuming that you're friends with Kevin, then. David, what's up, brother? How are you? David Long. We put all the money spent into more inventory. When you cancel through chargeback, we pay extra fees. Then we could just refund directly through it. Yeah, exactly. It ends up costing more. And if you're, as a business, if you're counting on that money and the product that you've ordered, now that's deducted. Yeah, trust me, it's not just a couple $100, man. You know, I've had days where we've had upwards of $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 disputed because people have buyer's remorse, or, you know, drank a little too much over the weekend and then decided they didn't want to, or their wife saw their charges or whatever it was. So yeah, it could be. Peggy, how are you? Travis Greenhorn, what's up, man? You can use a company like Shopify that has chargeback protection. Everything has chargeback protection, but unfortunately, more often than not, the customer ends up being right first, and then you have to prove your way. Angelica, welcome. Excuse me, sorry. Tex Markwalder, how you doing? That's a new name. I haven't heard that one before. Thank you for joining. So for those of you that are new, this is a forum for not just for Team US Amps members, but for anybody that's an audiophile that likes car audio, or, you know, anything car related, man. I have a long history in building custom cars, motorcycles. I've built cars, I've built helicopters, I've built limos for celebrities. I built cars for movies and TVs and movie stars. Nicholas Coppola, who's also Nicolas Cage, built a F-150 and a couple of Mustangs and a motorcycle for him. Seth Petrozelli knocked out Kimbo Slice back in, what was that fight promotion? Oh wait, I got him right here. I built a few vehicles for Seth Petrozelli. These were the shorts that Seth wore on when he was in the UFC. See, it says MichaelJamesCustoms.com. That was my old shop. I built this. This is one of a few vehicles that I built for him. But he was on pay-per-view and he was wearing these trunks, and he signed that and sent it to me. I had a hard drive full of, I don't know, man, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20,000 pictures that was thrown away, I think, on purpose. It's unfortunate. I closed that shop when Facebook had just started. We were on MySpace, and phones had cameras, but people weren't using the cameras on the phones because cameras were still better than the cameras that were in the phones. So that's showing my age, but yeah, I've been building cars for a very long time. So this forum, for those of you that are new, this forum is for any questions regarding US Amps products or anything car audio that I can help with. Just an open forum, just talking. Hi guys from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome, Jason Hardison. Thank you for your unboxing video on YouTube. I appreciate that. A contract would be, it's extra BS, because when it comes to it, basically they want to see that the people have received product for their money. A firm doesn't care about you saying that it takes time to custom build it. If you haven't given them their product, they're going to refund them their money. There's no way around it, I don't think. Stephanie Brennan, good morning. John Kelly, thank you for that. Dirk would love to hear that. I'm going to screenshot that and send that to him. I bet you it would make. I don't see a lot of questions here. I support Down to Earth. I'm new to US Amps. Oh, thank you, Roberto. Let me introduce myself. My name is Michael James. I'm the owner and acting CEO of US Amps. I purchased US Amps right about 5 years ago. We have a crew including Dirk Ecker, who was the original, co-owner, vice president, and engineer for US Amps. He still is our lead engineer. Rigo Ibarra is the director of social media and marketing. He used to work for RE Audio / US Amps. We have a crew here, including those two who were part of the original, US Amps, or the second version of US Amps, if you would. If it wasn't for Rigo, we wouldn't be here, man. Rigo jumped in and introduced me to Mr. Kim, and then Dirk. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to put together the deal that I put to purchase US Amps. So thank you, Rigo. Love you, brother. I'm new to the brand. Saw some old posts about Merlin 12 subs. Can you give me the rundown on those? We're talking about Merlin X subs. This is a used Merlin X15. These are the old RE Audio Triple X baskets that we've redesigned, and we've changed the spider, the voice coil, obviously the cone and soft parts. But now at this point, we don't have them here yet, but we've redesigned the motor, which it looks exactly the same, but the original motors were only about 2,000 Gauss. The new motors, which we have 200 of them coming, are 4,800 Gauss, which will be right in line with everything else that we've designed. The baskets, instead of, these were all individual pieces on the old Triple X subwoofers. On our new design, this is all one piece. So we've made a lot of changes. It looks like the RE Audio sub, but is nowhere near the RE Audio sub. The changes were made based on, look at these giant 4-inch voice coils. The changes were made based on research and development that we did in-house here with Brendan Gardner. Thank you to Brendan Gardner for all of your help and support, brother. I love you. We were using those in his vehicle just like we use them in everything. Mike, I'm going to message you with a proposal for your consideration. Thank you. I will consider your proposal for considering. I'm building something really special with 3 Merlin 10Ks. Can't wait to rep your product. Keep an eye out for the La Vaca build in California. Thank goodness somebody out in California trying to rep the brand. Steven, now that I know you are, who you are, and where you are, thank you for ordering the 3 10Ks. I appreciate that. If that's all you're using of US Amps for your build, thank you. If there's anything else that we can offer to you at team pricing, I would love to make you part of Team US Amps, which is I've been trying to use this forum to get out to the other coast to try to find somebody to rep us out there. Team pricing can save you some money over the US Amps Inc. pricing, and we do that only for team members. There are some rules. We don't necessarily, you don't have to use all US Amps, but if you're interested, Steven, hit me up. I'm very interested in your build. Thank you. US Amps for life. Love it. I love it, Matt. Yes, I need some 8-inch, 6-inch, 4-inch, 3-inch grills, please. Okay, Rigo, hopefully, I know it's Monday. Hopefully we can work on trying to get those on the website. Alex, yo. Team Megahertz in the house. Alex, I love seeing that your subwoofers are finally breaking in. A lot of people don't believe that's true. Me, for one, I've been involved in car audio for, I don't even want to say because it's going to make me feel old and cry, but I never believed in breaking in subwoofers. When John Centers first used our LH15s in his first sound quality build a couple years ago, he kept cracking the triple joint. He was putting 2 15s in a sealed box on a 100HC wired at 2 ohm mono. A little too much power, but if the subs are slowly broken in, they can handle it. Now, when you have a design, our subwoofers, our LH subs, were a sound quality sub, for lack of better design offer. Let me see here. So, look, this is an original LH15. Okay? Just a regular triple stack, 12-spoke basket. Doesn't have a necessarily big surround. That was our first sub. I didn't know a lot about speakers or subwoofer design, but what I had heard was these were made in China. What I had heard is that the Chinese like to cheat on the Gauss or how much they power the magnet when putting them in the magnetizer. So that was something I kept harping on. You better make sure our magnets are strong. Well, now that we are 5 years later or 4 years later, and now that we're building subwoofers here, I'm utilizing these motors because we've taken some of these apart, especially the ones that have ripped and torn at the triple joint, and found out that the Gauss rating of the LH series motor is like 6,800, which is very strong for the rest of the subwoofer. See, a lot of people harp on what the voice coil is. Is it 8-layer? Is it this? Or a lot of people harp on, wow, it's got to have big foam surrounds. Or a lot of people harp on, what is the Gauss rating? It's just like anything else. If everything together doesn't match up, then you're going to have issues. And the issues with our LH subs were the heavy Gauss rating of the magnet was almost too much for the materials that the surround and the spider and everything else were made of. If you didn't give the sub time and get it hot and then let it cool and get it hot and then let it cool, if you just hammered it right off the bat with the 3,000 watts that is its max, and you just keep hitting it with 3,000 watts over and over and over again, it rips at the triple joint. But if you took the time and gave it 1,000 or 1,200 or 1,500 watts slowly over a 20-hour period and let the glues and everything get hot, let the surrounds get warm or get, move and then stretch and then cool. Over time, and I didn't believe it, but I was driving the Team US Amps Dodge Raider after we broke whatever the record was by 3 decibels. I started driving it to the UPS store because I was enjoying how loud it was and how windy it was. I'm driving home from UPS, listening to one of the Future songs that sounded good in there. I don't know. Forget, Low Life, something like that. Anyway, right in the middle of the song, it was big enough of a difference that I literally moved like that because the wind got windier and it got louder. I thought something happened to the amplifier. I didn't know what it was. Later, realizing the subs all kind of broke in at the same time. Now, moving forward, that's when we got into subwoofer design. It was right around the same time that the Prodigy blew his Nightshades. We took them apart. I saw the way that thing was designed inside, and I got excited and started working on things. So if you have a surround that's made out of foam, enter your material here, and it's not really set up for the way everything else is moving, and the Gauss that the magnet has is pushing and pulling harder than that material is meant to do, you're going to have issues. But if you give it time and you slowly work that and stretch it, then maybe it can work. And I'm bringing that up because I'm seeing now Alex Gallardo, if you're seeing the videos he's now sharing of his car, the subs are finally breaking in. It's not the extra foam, spray foam and tape that he's adding to his car that's making it windier. It's because the subs have finally broken in. It makes a big, big difference. We gained 0.7, almost a full dB, just by the subs, those 415s we had in that truck breaking in. That is a thing. And we've noticed it as well in the 8s and the 6.5-inch timbers. The 8s, they have trouble around the 60 hertz range right out of the box. But after 10 to 12 hours of playtime, you can get those things down to 12 hertz and they won't fall on their face. They're not really designed for that. But again, in R&D and testing here, that's what we've seen. Same thing with the 6s. They'll go down to 20 hertz once they break in. Sorry, buddy, you need me? No? Just take my credit card. I'm going to need that. Happy birthday, Nick. Happy belated birthday. Brendan, there he is. There's my brother. Pelnar Zachary. Welcome. Tim Dolph. Welcome. Thank you, Rigo. I appreciate you, brother. Ronald Kowalski. How are you? Wow, we got a lot. 68 people, man. That's a lot for me. I'm 71. Wow, I'm very, very impressed. I'm very proud. Mike Pendleton, how are you? Johnny Blevins, there you are. I expected to hear from you this weekend, my friend. Dalton Whitfield, Aiden Firebar, how are you, ma'am? LFA, that dude is a genius. Marius loses me. Yes, Marius is extremely intelligent. Real quick, and I'll shoot you a text, double check. I'm on the website right now looking at ordering 25 foot of 4.0, and it's estimating shipping at $12.38. Yeah, see, that's the problem. Unfortunately, WooCommerce, which is the pay portion of GoDaddy, would not allow me to do actual shipping. It would not integrate with ShipStation. So I had to put a flat rate shipping. When I tried to put in flat rate for 4-aught, that was supposed to be per foot. $12.38 per foot it was supposed to be, but unfortunately it does like $12.38 for the entire shipment. So if you want, Harold, hit me up. I can shoot you a Square invoice, and I'll be easy with you on the shipping, man. I appreciate you ordering more stuff from us. So just shoot me a message. You have my number. Internal resistance makes a huge difference with floor noise on amplifiers. Lower the better. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think some people laughed at me, or maybe didn't believe me, when they heard that I sent a pallet of Kester solder to the build house and made them send me videos of them rinsing and cleaning out their wave soldering machines. And I made them do videos of me watching them putting the Kester solder into their machine. They sent me a prototype for testing, and I told them this is not my solder. And they said, oh, well, yeah, no, this is just for testing. No, if you're sending me a prototype, this needs to be the fucking thing that I'm agreeing that goes into production, or you're wasting my fucking time. They learned real quick I'm a pain in the fucking ass. But the solder that's used on our 50HC, 100HC, and SQ442, and also the 500HC is Kester solder. That was not inexpensive to do. But you notice the difference in the resistance internally. Wear it, Rob Kahab. Hope I'm saying that right. I don't know if that's like a screen name or something, but welcome. Should put on a t-shirt, I'm old and grumpy and I don't want to deal with bullshit. I tell you, man, some days. Ryan Anderson Chadi, welcome. So Ryan I don't know if you guys saw our post this weekend. He is one of our newest dealers in Trinidad, and he just received his product that he placed his initial order a few weeks ago, and obviously shipping is not easy to Trinidad, Tobago, as a small chain of islands. And the very next day, he made his first sale of a 100HC. And I think that customer also ordered some other US Amps equipment. So Ryan, first of all, very kind and respectful gentleman in the way that we've spoken to one another. I'll deal with him all day long, and very happy to welcome him to the US Amps family, and looking forward to a very successful future as a US Amps dealer. I've unfortunately had to let go of an alpha dealer in another country. I don't want to make it public yet, but it was just based on the way he speaks to me. You know, I think he thinks because he has money that he can talk down to me, and I don't play that shit. So again, I've said it before, I treat everybody how I want to be treated. I do that because I haven't always been the way I am now. I was a piece of shit and an asshole for most of my life, and the way you act tends to come back to you tenfold, you know? So I've noticed, even though I have to put effort into being the way I am now, I notice that my life tends to be easier. So I choose to be this way. I don't have to be this way. And I'm saying that for those of you that like to be tough with your thumbs on your fucking phone. One day you're going to see me at a show. So remember how tough you are with your thumbs, all right? I choose to be nice. I choose to retain and restrain my violence. That doesn't mean that I will, always. You push anybody to the edge and you're going to have a fucking problem. But I love everybody that I talk to. I have 99% of my conversations are happy and positive, and I try my best to help everybody that I talk to, not just because I love the brand, but because I love car audio, and again, if you're nice to me, then I'll be nice to you. Aiden, you're right here, bud. The one that said I should put that on my T-shirt. I talked to Aiden. I don't know if the guy's. He could be a 72-year-old woman. I don't even know. He might be a kid. I don't know, but he messaged me and asked me questions, and I tried my best to respond to him. I probably talked to Aiden as much as I talked to my family members, but yeah. Thank you, guys. Almost everybody that's on here, I recognize most of these names. There's 52 people on here right now, and most of these names, I can think of a conversation that we've had in the last week or two. And I love that, man. You know, I use the hashtag USAMPS family, and it's not just a hashtag. I consider you guys family. Hey, Josh. Josh was here last week trying to help me with my 3D printer. I love that shit. Mitch. There's Mitch. Mitch just left a week and a half ago with his Hellcat that he was kind enough to and trusting enough to let us build. David Frederick ordered Merlin amplifiers and never once complained about how long it took. You know, I appreciate that shit. Darren Mallier, here you are, brother. Darren has been a USAMPS family member from day one. He was ordering shit or asking about shit before we even had product. Building his Nissan truck, man. He ordered 412s like as soon as we had subwoofers, man. I love these guys. I love all y'all, man. Nanu Sonina, welcome. That sounds like a new name. As usual, brutally honest. The treats some folks just can't get past. Yeah. 1,600 amps of charging alone in the Tahoe. That's heavy duty, Joey. That's awesome. Mike Pede, what's up, man? I know you got your amps. Where's that build? I'm anxious to see that build. The cells are in. The cells are not here, Brendan. Seth and the guys over at not Trunk Thunder. Sorry. The guys over at Glow Voltage have received the cells. That's what Seth said the other day. I'm sure they're trying to make sure that they have the product that they need for their customers. And I don't blame him, but Seth did ask for my address and said that he would be shipping the cells that I asked for. So hopefully we see them here soon because I know everybody's waiting on them. I did my shit in sitting bad deal because of LiFePro4. Yeah, no, don't worry, Tim. As soon as the new LTO chemistry gets here, I'll get you taken care of, buddy. Don't worry about it. Your little bank that you have, those little the little version 3s. I didn't really talk to Seth about it because I didn't want to bother him with it. I honestly don't think that Daniel or whomever dealt with you over at Glow intentionally tried to sell you something that, you know, wasn't for what you had. The Glow Series 3 cells are more than enough for a 100HC. 2 of them is more than enough for a 100HC or 200HCs and SQ442, but 2 of them is not enough for a 500HC. So if you're going to be running the 500HC, I'll take those 2 little cells you have and I'll use them for one of the little bicycles or the golf cart or something that we build here, and I'll get you into the new LTO cells when they get here, brother. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure that you're up and running. Glow Voltage has excellent customer service. They did right for me. I'm glad to hear that, Peter. Again, I only try to refer people that I deal with or that I know, and I won't refer product unless I've tested it. My 220 amp hour LFP has been doing me well with my 220 amp alternator. LFP? 220 amp hour LFP? I don't know what that is, buddy. Oh, LiFePro? 220 amp hour LiFePro? With the 220 amp alternator, it's again probably okay, but if you start pushing that 5K, it will work, but you're going to be sending a clipped signal to your sub. Just because the amplifier is functioning and just because you're not seeing the clip light up on the knob, that means that you're not sending a clip signal from your source unit to your amp. That doesn't mean that you're not sending a clip signal from your amplifier to your subwoofer. And that's what happens when your bank doesn't support the subwoofer amplifier. If the amplifier will continue to make power, it's just not going to be as clean. And because of the overbuilt the way the power supply is overbuilt, it's going to continue to work. You won't notice a difference. You're going to notice when your sub starts smelling or smoking, or at the end of the day, you end up with a hole in the side of your fucking voice coil. Going 180 amp hours of C-Max with 15.5 at 15.5 with two 410 alts for my build. C-Max is very strong. You should have no issues with that. I mean, I don't know 180. We had 190 amp hours, I believe, in our test vehicle, and we had no problem with. We did two 10Ks. No, did we do two 10Ks? We did two 10Ks in there? That was the biggest we did. I don't know, Robert, I think are you doing 2 or 3? If you're doing 3 10Ks, might be tight. I don't know. And I only say that not to be a pain or to make things hard for you. I don't know and I haven't tried it. I'm not that familiar with C-Max. I know that you can only buy C-Max used because it was a Ford product that they used in an older car. I do know that they will soon not be offering C-Max anymore because it's past its life expectancy. So it's starting to get less expensive, which is good for some of us that are trying to get, because they're great power-wise. They recover very well, especially if built properly. Their discharge rate is amazing. Their recovery rate is amazing. Again, it's something that's used. It's a very volatile chemistry. That scares me, that scares me, especially for people that don't know. You can improperly charge or improperly discharge, and that could be an issue.
This is on a 90 amp hour bank, 90 amp hour small cell.
That's C-Max?
Yes.
Oh, wow. 400
So if
amp.
you want to pass that info along.
Whose is this?
Vibration audio.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
They build C-Maxes.
Oh, okay. No, I'll share it if I do it. I don't trust other people's testing.
They're one of the biggest builders.
Are they?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's off of Vibration's website.
And if you have issues, Robert, I think you know me by now, moving forward. I don't know who's doing your build for you. I know you said you send your truck out because you want me to send your other 10K to the builder and the 442s. Have your builder hit me up. I just want to make sure your build is working properly moving forward. That's all. Yeah, how the hell you lose that? They didn't lose the 10K. Somebody took that motherfucker. Pelinar Zachary, let's go, same amp, just paying for the name. Why did y'all delete the ad about... I'll tell you exactly why. Because people like to do things like that because, just like you right now, you're trying to start shit. I bought that 6-channel amplifier a long time ago, and I paid what now that person is selling that amp for. I'm discontinuing that line for that reason. Also, that other company that is now selling that amp is selling the improved version of it because I caught an issue in that amp. So instead of being argumentative on something that you have little or no knowledge of, you should probably be appreciative because that other brand that doesn't have an engineer should thank me because he can now sell a Class AB amplifier that's been repaired by somebody that has knowledge. And I have no problem doing that. But what I do have a problem with is somebody trying to start crap and trying to be negative when you don't know what you're talking about. I'm dropping that amp for that reason. We didn't sell a lot of them to begin with, and they're not really powerful enough to do what I want to do. So whatever that other brand is that is now going to carry that same amp in a different color, I wish them well. I hope their sales soar through the roof, and they won't have a problem with the protection circuit. And they can thank me for that. They probably won't because I know that company doesn't like me. I know, just like you must be friends with the person that owns that brand because he likes to attack me personally, not to my face. He does it to, which I don't understand. He contacts customers of mine and messages them personally, trying to talk smack about me personally and my brand. I think it's funny because the person that he borrowed money from to start his brand, which cool. I mean, if you know China, especially Guangdong, China, if you have 10 grand and you want to be Fred Johnson's, that's not a name, I'm making it up, Jerry Johnson's audio, if you have 10 grand and send them 10 grand, they'll make you an amplifier. You could be a car audio brand, but do you really want to go head to head with an engineer? I mean, literally, I was a thermonuclear engineer. I designed power grids for a submarine, for an aircraft carrier. And if you don't understand how that relates to an amplifier, go see a fucking aircraft carrier. The boards, the circuits, I designed that shit. The power that runs those things are as big as a city. I know what I'm looking at when I look at a PCB. I doubt the owner of that company does. And instead of being argumentative, there's plenty of room at the table for all of us to eat. At the end of the day, 10 years from now, people are going to talk about US Amps. People are not going to talk about your brand, because the person that loaned you that money is already buying US Amps equipment. We talk on a daily basis. I'm not going to put names out there. I don't have to. You already know what it is. But again, instead of being a dick, you should be thankful that I fixed the amplifier that you can now sell for $200, and I hope you make a profit at it. But at $200, I can't make a profit on that amplifier. And now that they're going to, the build house is going to sell that amp to another brand and pretend that they fixed it when they know I did, that's what leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm into loyalty. I'm into somebody's word meaning something, not changing what your values are or your ideas are based on how much somebody can pay you. That's worthless to me. That means nothing. That's just like talk. Talk means nothing. Actions mean everything. That's why I'm dropping that amplifier. So I hope that other brand does well, and I hope they sell many of them. Now, because of what I've repaired in that design, it's a decent little amplifier. It just really doesn't make enough power for what we do. It's okay for breaking in the timbers, but once the timbers break in, they need more power than that amplifier can make. So unfortunately, we probably didn't sell a lot of them because of that, because it doesn't make a lot of power. People didn't get excited and want to buy it until we dropped it down to $200. And at $200, I'm not really making money on it. I'm not all about making money, and I think you guys know that by now, but again, it is a business, so if I can't make money, what's the point? I would rather design a 6-channel amplifier, which we have many of. There's a 6-channel amplifier right there. Should we show that to that other brand? I bet you he doesn't know what the fuck he's looking at. That's how an amplifier starts. That's one of probably 3 6-channel designs that we have here. I also have a 6-channel tube amp that I designed from scratch. But the thing is, to take something like that and make it to where it's in a box and for sale, if you don't let another build house actually design it for you, costs in the neighborhood of $120,000 to $150,000. Unfortunately, in the last almost 2 years that we've offered that 6-channel amplifier, we haven't even sold 30 units, so it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather do something like that on a bespoke condition. For those of you that don't understand, a bespoke means like per order. For those of you that want a 6-channel amplifier and you're not afraid to pay for what something like that would be valued at, you're talking about probably 250 watts by 6 at 4 ohm, but that, depending on the size of the joints that we make, which we can make them fat just like our 100 HCs, I can make that amp 1/4 ohm stable. You can end up 600 watts at 1/4 ohm times 6. But you know, you're gonna be $1,300, $1,400 for me to build that amp for you. And I can build it from scratch for you. I can do that right here on this bench. I think that's what we'll do for the future 6-channels, because we don't sell a lot of them. Now, if that starts to take off, we'll talk about that moving forward, but sorry. Shit like that pisses me off, man. I watched that movie, and it's funny because it makes me think about that. You ever watch that movie about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg and all that shit that happened, and how at the end they're at a table full of attorneys, and those two, the Winklevoss or whatever the guy's names, the crew guys that really had no fucking brains, but they had money, so they were at Harvard. They wanted to pretend that they had something to do with making Facebook, as if they understood anything about it. I think it's probably a line from the movie, but it's maybe something that is close to what happened in real life. Zuckerberg said something about if the Winklevoss twins want to stand on my shoulders and call themselves tall, I guess they can. Again, that's how that relates here. There's you don't understand what you're fucking with. I do what I do because I enjoy it. If I want to try hard, US Amps will be the next fucking Pioneer. It'll be the next fucking Alpine. I have no fucking quit in me, and things like that pushes me to be better. I have to bring myself down from that. I have to stop myself, and I do that because I would end up, and Dirk tells me this all the time, don't do what I did. You'll end up in your 70s and alone sitting in a one-bedroom apartment with a bunch of equipment. Life is not all about trying to be better than somebody else. You gotta think about the people around you that care about you, and I have to stop myself all the time to do that. I have children, I have grandchildren, I have a wife that puts up with me. I don't know how the fuck she does it, but I have to show appreciation for that by stepping back from this. I do 20 hours a day, man. That's no bullshit. 3 o'clock this morning, I was out here working on the 3D printer because it's jammed up. And then I was hand sanding the roof of the Raider because I didn't want to start the DA because it was 3:15. I don't sleep because I have ideas of things that I want to do, and I need to take more time for my family. So thank you, Nikki, for putting up with me. I don't know how you do it. Donnie, Homegrown Builds is watching. Donnie, I'm very sorry for what happened to your truck. I saw that somebody gave you a van. I think that's fucking awesome. That shows how strong the community is. Again, like I said before, I'm glad that you weren't harmed. I'm glad that Hannah wasn't hurt, because I know Hannah goes a lot with you to the shows. If there's anything I can do to help with your new build, I would love to be part of it. I know back in the day when we were first communicating, we didn't really have any equipment that was powerful enough for what you were trying to do. I think we have that now, depending on what it is that you're trying to do. So hit me up. UPS doesn't give a shit about product. They throw it around. It seems like they're intentionally trying to break it. Yes, sir. I couldn't agree more, Ronald, and that's why we package things the way we do. Sean, the prodigy, used to get mad at me because he would hear the tape roll going, "Oh, you think you got enough fucking tape on there?" Yeah, well, I don't expect you to understand because it's not your company, but in the 5 years that, I first started repairing people's equipment and sending it to them. In the 5 years now 3.5, we've been sending new product, and the 2 years prior, a year and a half prior, that I was building or repairing equipment and sending it back, I've had maybe 2 or 3 pieces of equipment get damaged in shipping. I pride myself on that. You guys work hard for your money. I want to make sure that whatever it is that you purchase makes it to you and still looks brand new, or as good as it can used, if that's how you purchased it. What's up from Central Oregon? Welcome, Jimmy. Jimmy Zenner, welcome. Good seeing you as well, Donnie. Thank you. Clint Jackson, that looks like a new name. We'll have to come see you. I only live less than... Oh, Brian, you're up this way now? Cool. Awesome. You're more than welcome anytime, my friend. Hopefully mom is doing well, and best regards to your brother as well. Hopefully everybody is good. Some other company said slew rate and damping is made up on the Merlins. That's because I'm sure where they're getting it from, and I will gladly, I'm going to obviously have to share this publicly because I knew this was going to happen. We designed the boxes for the Merlin amplifiers. They gave us a stencil, And I remember I was in the middle of doing something. Rigo asked me about specifications. I told him to get with Steven at Seongson, and Steven sent him some specifications. I didn't double check it, and it went through. So the damping factor on the boxes says 200. Okay. We all know that's not true. And how do we know that? Because we've shared videos on the Term Lab. I do that for a reason. It's not to show off. It's to show you guys the Term Lab is the best tool to show you what damping factor is. Damping factor is an amplifier's ability to create power at said ohm load. All right? If you wire an amplifier at half ohm and it's supposed to make 10,000 watts, just for a number, I'm not saying this is just for a number. If your amplifier is supposed to make 10,000 watts at half ohm and you have two 15-inch subwoofers in a 8th order fucking Jack Ryan fucking design box, whatever the fuck, and that rises to 3 ohm, what does the amplifier make? Well, if the amplifier has damping factor more than 250 or 300, and I'm using that number for a fucking reason, because most Class D amplifiers from 5,000 watts to 30,000 watts have a damping factor of 250 to 300. There's a reason for that. I'll tell you another time. Our amplifiers are well over 1,000 or 1,100. And how do you know that without my verbs, without my words saying it? How do you know it without me putting it on a fucking box? I have stickers I can easily put over that mistake on the box. But I don't want to hide anything. They made a mistake. I'll share it with the world. I'll screenshot. I messaged him. I said, Steven, how the fuck did this mistake go through? He said, well, he tried to blame it on Rigo. That's cool. We all know it's not Rigo's fault. I remember the night that Rigo asked for the information. I still have the email where Steven sent it to him. The problem is the guy made a mistake and now it's on the box. I don't want to try to hide it, but how do we know that it's not true? How do we know it's not true that the Merlin 10K is not a 200 damping factor? Because in the video that we share, you can see the amplifier wired at half ohm. What does it make? 15,680 watts at half ohm. It rises to almost 3 ohm. What did it make? 15,860 watts. Why is that? Because it has a damping factor of over 1,100. If the damping factor was 250 to 300, like every other fucking Class D amplifier that's available to you right now, it would do what every other fucking amplifier does. When it rises to 3 ohm or higher, it falls on its fucking face. That's why the whole industry has gone to CMAX and all these other higher charging voltages to try to trick these half-assed engineered half-bridge and full-bridge Korean and Brazilian designed amplifiers to making more power because they don't have damping factor. This is why everybody wires in the dirt and charges so high to try to make more power, because the amp is just not designed right. They're trying to trick a 20,000 watt amplifier into actually making 20,000 watts when it rises to 3 ohm. When realistically, if it just had the proper design, it would do that. Our 100HC is rated at 1900 watts. Donnie, you're on here, buddy. You were one of the first people that wasn't part of US Amps and had nothing to gain. You tested our 100HC on your subs. I forget what they were, 2 21-inch subs or something like that. You rose to 5.8 ohms when wired at 1 ohm, which I told you not to do, but you wired it at 1 ohm. I didn't give a shit because I knew you had those sodium banks and it was probably enough juice to make it work, right? The amp didn't go into protection. What did it do? It made like 2,800 watts at almost 6 fucking ohm. Put another brand amp that's rated at 1900 watts, wired it at 1 ohm when it's not supposed to be, let it rise to 6 ohms and see what it makes. I'd be surprised if it makes 1,000 fucking watts. Why? Because it doesn't have damping factor, because it doesn't have slew rate. And that 100HC has damping factor well over 1,500 and slew rate, which is the op amp's ability to do a job in a certain amount of time, VUS, milliseconds, I believe, microseconds. I forget. Sorry, I don't want to misquote. That's why. Damping factor. We have no reason to lie about it. In the age of social media, it would behoove us as a company to be honest about everything, and that's why I do it. When mistakes are made, I'm the first one to fucking tell you what I did and how I did it. So you don't have to hear it from somebody else. Lying does no good. It makes you look like a fucking moron. That's the last thing I want to do is look stupid. I can look stupid all on my own. Thank you, Stephanie. We are doing very well here. Glenn, thank you for representing us, Stephanie. Hopefully you got the timbers in, got them installed. SQ442 is the best 4-channel amp I ever laid my hands on. Thank you, Donnie. I appreciate that. 3 years, 4 years ago, I designed that almost 5 years ago, I designed that amplifier. And I think even to this day, it's still the cleanest, most powerful 4-channel, 1 ohm stable Class AB amplifier available. 0.09 THD at any ohm load, at any volume level. And it creates over 600 watts per channel. Another thing that you guys don't know, and I probably shouldn't say this because I don't want people doing it, because they're going to do it well beyond and it's going to damage the amplifier. As with most US amps and not any other amplifier because they're not designed properly, you can take channel 1 and 2 of our SQ442 and run it stereo while simultaneously bridging channels 1 and 2 mono and running it at a lower ohm load. You can run it 3-way. Can you do that with another amplifier? No. I've done that here live just to show how it works. Now, don't go running it at 2 ohm stereo and 1 ohm mono and expecting it to work. But if you're trying to run 3 speakers or 6 speakers off of the SQ442, if you're not a dipshit, you can actually make it work properly, and it puts out clean power, and it's designed that way. I'm still trying to decide if I should get another Warhorse or a Merlin 5K. I can't answer that for you, bud. I don't know if you're referring to the new Warhorse or the old Warhorse. The old Warhorse, I just sold my last one of. I had, the big jobbies, the 10,000 watt jobbies. I don't think those really compare to one another, but I wouldn't compare my new 5K to the new Kicker Warhorse. Sorry. Look at the power supply alone. It's not fair to Kicker to try to compare. You're not comparing apples to apples. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm being real. You can't. That's not a real 5,000 watt amplifier. The new Kicker Warhorse is probably. I have to see it, but I can tell you by looking at the power supply what it is. But just size alone, it's probably really a 3,000 watt amplifier. Can it make 5,000 watts? Sure.
It's rated 3,600, and I've seen them crank just over 4.
Oh, sure. It'll make it. And again, I've said that a million times. Even the Term Lab will show what something makes. But this machine, this SMD81, is a great tool, but it takes a nanosecond to make that machine pick something up and show something. What impresses me is how long can that amplifier make that power for, and how clean is it while it's doing that. That's why when we decided to build vehicles and go into the ACCL, we went into bottom out. That's impressive to me. A 500 HC Class AB amplifier pushing 4 sound quality 15s at 2,900 watts at 20 hertz consecutively for 2 minutes without falter. I think that's cool. Especially with, a box that was thrown in there, 2 sheets of wood, 1 screws down from the roof down and then screws through the roof up. We didn't build that for competition. We built it to prove a point. And I think the new one's going to have something for your ass. You guys better hold on. I love my SQ442. Been playing daily for 3 years. Never had any issues. That's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. Hey, Mike. I know it's not rated for it, but reckon my 500 HC can run at 1.5 ohm mono. Can it? Yes. Should you? No. I can take a 500 HC and I can clip or remove a resistor, and we can run it at half an ohm. I've done it. I've had a 500 HC on this bench when it was downstairs, and we made over 13,000 watts with a 500 HC. But most people don't understand a 73, at most 73% efficient Class AB amplifier, that fucking big, requires even more power support than a Class D amplifier that makes that kind of power. You're talking a difference between 97% efficient and 73% efficient. If you wanted to make 13,000 watts, you need 2,000 amps or more consistently. That amp is going to pull that because it's trying to push it the entire time. Look at that fucking thing. Have you guys seen a 500 HC? It ain't that big for fun. That's how Class AB is made, man. It's you can literally, if you know what you're looking at, you can look up what the MOSFETs are and add them up. You'll add them up and it'll tell you what that amplifier should make for power if the power supply is there. That's the difference between a Class D and a Class AB amp. So no, Elliot, your amp you should not run at 1.5 ohm mono. You can run it at 1 ohm stereo because it's a 2-channel amp. But if you're trying to push a sub that for some reason is at 1.5 ohm, I don't know what that sub would be, but if you have something that needs to run at 1.5 ohm, I can modify your amp to do so. But don't try doing it until you bring it to me, please. And thank you. If you're coming to get your B52, bring your 500 HC and I'll modify it for you. Austin Flores, how you doing, brother? I know you left on bad terms, but I will always have love for you and hope you're doing well. Nice to hear somebody have a lot of... I don't know about that, but I try to learn from my mistakes. I do have a Linear X. This is Douglas Bruce for Trevor. I do have a Linear X, but the technology is so old, it basically only works on MS-DOS. I have new test equipment coming soon. I currently use DATS LA for LSPs. Hopefully that answers your question, Trevor. Any Blue Merlin 5Ks? Roberto Adamsuela. As of Friday, we had 4. I have to look at our orders from this weekend and see. We did have 84 orders this weekend. Thank you guys very much. That is a blessing. A year ago this time, we were lucky to have that many in a month, much less a weekend. So thank you guys. I could literally cry. It's so amazing to hear how much the brand is getting out there. Roberto, please shoot me a message. If you know my private Facebook, my personal Facebook, message me there, not on US Amps because I don't see that all the time. I will check inventory as opposed to our orders from this weekend and let you know about a Blue Merlin 5K. Okay? Regardless, I've just ordered another 200 5Ks and 200 10Ks. I really thought that blacks were going to take off more, but it seems like people like the blues more. So I might do 150 blue and 50 black because we still have, I think, 25 black 5Ks. Don't see a lot of questions here, guys. Thank you, Mike. Shitty self-service man. Oh, no, you're good. You're good. Anytime, Roberto. Just hit me up. However I can help you, I will. Keith Payne, always appreciate your time and grind for the industry. Hope to try out some US amps soon. Keith, yeah, I'm not sure, and please excuse me if I'm wrong, but I want to think that you are the person that was building either a Maxima or an Ultima for Jeremy Eiler. He spoke very highly of you and showed me a lot of pictures of your builds. If that's the same Keith, I'm not sure. I apologize. But regardless, if you're looking to try out some equipment, Keith, message me personally. Let me know what it is that you're trying to do, and we'll see what we can figure out. I don't know if you have a shop or you work at a shop. Maybe your shop wants to try checking out some equipment to see if they want to be a dealer. If we don't already have a dealer in your area, shoot me a message. Stuart Holloway, welcome. It would be amazing if the Bad Wizard could join the live sometime. Jason Harson, I'm gonna. If you're referring to Dirk, obviously you don't know him that well. In the 5 years that I've owned the brand, we've talked on the phone 3 times. The very first time he tried to walk me through repairing a US Amps VLX 400, he refused to fucking talk to me. It was via text. You know how hard it is to discern what somebody that smart is trying to convey to you via text when you don't know what the fuck you're doing? And I don't know if you guys have ever been inside a VLX 400, but it's not just a regular amplifier. It's 2 100HC boards internally strapped. You have to take it out of the heatsink just to work on it. And it's not, I can't explain it. It's hard enough working on a single PCB, but when you have something that's 2 boards connected by wires, and the only way to check the circuit properly is for those 2 boards to stay connected, it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And even worse, when you really don't know what the fuck is going on here, I say it all the time, and a lot of the amp repair techs will laugh, but they can lick my balls. US Amps Class AB circuitry and technology is not the same as other Class AB designs. Now that I've been doing it this long, I've seen Sundown's Class AB amp. I know what it is, I know how it works, and I understand the circuitry. It is not the same. I've repaired 2 MS 1000 10th anniversary editions. I've repaired a nickel. For those of you that know what a Phoenix Gold MS 1000 10th anniversary edition nickel is, they only made 100 of those. That's a very, very coveted, very expensive amplifier. I got one that somebody had been in and made a fucking mess of that I rebuilt for someone. Their Class AB is pretty close, but still not the same. Not the same. And I don't know if it's because of Dirk's background. I do know when he started messing with Class D, and that's why this was tough, us delving into the Class D realm. Not just for me, because I don't really like it, but if you remember the older US Amps Class Ds, they weren't called Class D, it was called Class DE, because Dirk refused to design anything that way. The way a Class D amplifier makes power, for those of us that understand engineering, we like to say that it's cheating, because it's not the same as a Class AB. Like I said before, a Class AB you can count. If you look up what that transistor is, you know what it can make power-wise if it has the proper power support. You can literally add that up and know what that amplifier should make for power. You can't do that with a Class D because it's relying on a single transistor to do the job of 20. There's ways to make that better, and I think we've done that in our Merlin amplifiers, and I think that's why Dirk approved this design so quickly. I fought with the engineers at the build house. They didn't understand why I wanted the slew rate so high. They didn't understand why I wanted the damping factor so high. They didn't understand how to do it. Thank you, Dirk, for the help. But I think the result it speaks for itself. And this weekend at the Liberty Base show, I know there was a couple people out there with some Merlin amplifiers. I saw somebody broke a 60 with 415s. Pretty decent. It didn't look like it was really set up right because it looked like the subs were over skirting a little bit. I don't know if that was tuning or box design. I'm not saying something negative. I'm excited. But the more that these amplifiers get out there, set up and designed or installed by people that know what they're doing, the more that people are going to understand and realize the difference between our 5Ks and 10Ks to compare to everybody else's. Aaron Linkus, the car, ? I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's for me. It might be for somebody else. I didn't know you built a helicopter. That is badass. I built a pink helicopter to match the pink Hummer limo that had a 9-person hot tub in the back for Mariah Carey. It was a birthday present from Nick Cannon. I in turn built a Ferrari for Nick that she bought as a present for him. It was shortly after they had the twins. Mariah is actually from Long Island, New York, which is also where I'm from. Man, I fell in love with some Timber 8s this weekend. Stuart, so I'm assuming you were at the Liberty Bay show. I know we had two people out there. Obviously, we had Cliff and Jeff, the owner of the Cobra, Team US Amps Cobra, with the subs that I built here, and I think they have a Merlin 10K pushing those 215s and a couple sets of timbers on an SQ442. They are getting ready to change that up a little bit. They are utilizing the passive crossovers, which they were made as part of the three-way timber set to save the average installer from themselves. Taking the time and having the knowledge to understand cutoff points for a 3-inch speaker, a 6.5-inch speaker, and a tweeter, it's not an average installer's knowledge set. So I thought adding a passive bi-amp capable crossover was a good choice. And it is, because it has saved a lot of people, but it does also limit the output of the speakers. So I'm hoping to, even though they're in West Virginia, I'm hoping they get the guys back here soon. We're going to throw another SQ442 in the build and get rid of the passive crossovers. Get probably Tony, because he's definitely better than I am, or maybe Harry if he wants to do it, to get this thing tuned. Maybe Rick, if you have some time, you can come over. Still want to do that class over here on tuning. But yes, no, the Cobra and Ryan Schwegman with his, I think it's a Toyota truck, also had our timbers. Ryan has a pretty extensive timber setup in his truck, and apparently he gave some good demos. He even gave a demo to JP, which didn't realize until he asked what the mids and highs were, and he heard that they were US amps. After he heard they were US amps, apparently he made a face, but yeah. No, I heard a lot of demos were given, so I'm assuming that you are one of them. And if there's any questions regarding the timbers, please let me know. I'll gladly help in any way I can. We have I think over 486 pair of the Timber 6 in stock and over 500 pair of the Timber 8 in stock, Stuart. So let me know how I can help you. Mike's, thanks for your hard work. My SQ442, I got my SQ442 and ordered another one. Thank you, Rodrigue. I appreciate your time. I know you ordered SQ442s at a time when we were almost out and then out of stock and waiting on the new ones to come in. So thank you for your patience, and thank you for being a loyal customer. Appreciate it. Why do you call the amps Merlin? Jeremias Montenegro. The Merlin is one of the older US Amps lines. It was actually considered more of an entry level back in the day, but a line nonetheless. I just liked the name, and when I did a little research on what Merlin means, obviously it's a wizard that everybody knows from, I forget what that era is, sorry. But he was also known to be not only extremely powerful, but a little bit evil. Not a bad guy necessarily, but he was known in fable, right? In tale. He was known to do things that the knights of the Round Table wouldn't necessarily agree with. He was supposedly part of King Arthur's realm. He was supposedly on their team, I guess, for lack of a better term. But he was known to do things that a good guy wouldn't necessarily do. So that's why I say bad wizard. I'm not referring to Dirk when I say bad wizard. I'm referring to Merlin. Somehow that got taken out of context and Dirk became the bad wizard, but that's not what it was meant to be. So just for your viewing pleasure, this is an old Merlin amplifier, brand new in the box. This is from 1999. This is an M2130. This is a 2-channel, 130 watt per channel amplifier. If you look here on the board, it says Merlin, and on either side it has like that little lion, that little design. We were thinking about utilizing that. I think that was something that Dirk did back in the day because it kind of goes with, you know, the whole King Arthur, Merlin kind of thing, but we decided against it. So I actually have the information. So this was 65 watts by 2 at 4 ohm, but obviously this is Class AB, capable, because of its design, capable of double the power when you cut the ohm load in half. Not all amplifiers do that, but a well-designed amplifier will do that. This is a dealer literature. Oh, so I guess it's not 99. This is 97, because I'm pretty sure this amplifier is in here. And this is from February 1st of 1997. This is a dealer catalog. So here is the M2130 right here on the my upper right. 65 by 2 at 4 ohm per channel with a 100 hertz 18 decibel active crossover and active preamplifier output. Motherfucker. Okay. No shit. 2-way active electronic crossover. No shit. I was wondering what all those fucking resistors were. See, I'm learning something too. This is brand new. This is a new old stock piece that I had sitting here, and obviously I should do a little more reading, but so if you were a dealer back in the day in 97 and you purchased over 5,000 a month, I think it was, you were able to buy these for $165 and they retailed at $399. And this is a 97. They had a 4-channel version. This was the 2-channel. They had a 4-channel. They had a 5-channel. I can get lost looking at this shit. This is actually where I forget who sent this to me. I'll have to find out later and thank him. In reading one of these is where I figured out that one of the amplifiers that I have on the wall is actually 1/4 ohm stable. And I knew a lot of the amps did it. You know, I knew a lot of them because most of the amps that we had and have are Class AB 2-channel full range. People use them for sub amps because of the power that they made, you know, but they're full range. They could be used for mids and highs. They could be used for whatever you use them for. But I didn't realize, I knew some of them could do 1/4 ohm per channel or 1/2 ohm mono, but not 1/4 ohm mono. I don't think you guys don't know. Most don't understand what that entails in design to be able to handle that. That's funny because it's a 12.5 watt by 2 amplifier. That's what it's rated as. But at 1/4 ohm, it makes like 600 watts. And I know the amp that I have up on the wall there, the guy had 415s on. And back in the day, it was in a sealed enclosure in a truck, but he was cracking a 50, which on a 600 watts, you know, back in the day in a sealed box with, I mean, the subwoofers were what? If they were 150 watts per sub, that was a lot. I think I've gone on long enough here. Let me answer some questions. Holy cow, I've been going over 2 hours. Oh my goodness. Isn't the RE-XXX, at least the original, sort of an XBL.2 design? with a tall, I don't know what an XBL.2, I don't know what that is, Dalton, I apologize. With a tall top plate. XBL dot, or I don't know what that signal is, that symbol. But just so you know, that XXX sub came out in 2003. So I don't know if what you're comparing it to, if you're saying that it was a copy of something, but Daniel Kim is not a copier of anything. And Dirk wouldn't allow it either. I know Dirk had his hand in the design of the XXX. I know he designed the MX sub, and that's what we're going to work on moving forward with the Timber subwoofer. Mike, as soon as I get finished being sick. Oh, there you go. Okay, all right. I hope you feel better, brother. After they're broken in, it'll take some crazy abuse. Absolutely. Absolutely. I will send you specs of pre-break-in versus broke-in. Makes a huge difference even in graphs and technical specs. Thank you, Douglas. More often than not, for those that don't know, the part that more often requires break-in is the spider pack. As the spiders cure, resin fibers break, separate from stretch. You ever had a new subwoofer and pressed one of the spider? Yes, you are correct. A lot of the times they tear at the triple joint. Well, on ours anyway. Spam. All right. During R&D just shows you give a shit. Yes, that is true. I do care, that's for sure. Hope to have it in a show in Ocala this weekend. Oh, awesome, Mitch. Please, if you can get with me on the way to the show or before you go to the show, I'd like to do some last minute tuning. I know you've been playing it, obviously, since it's left here. I don't know if it has enough time on it to readjust, but I do want to add some fans to the 500HC. That way you can demo all day long and not have any issues. So please get with me before you go to the show if you can. I don't have intentions on going there, but I would like to put the fans in for you. Peggy, I've been around for almost 35 years. I'm hard to get rid of too. Thank you, Miss Peggy. I appreciate you. For those of you who don't know, I don't think it's on that one. Most of these amps that are on the wall have something handwritten on the board. And that is Miss Peggy's handwriting, the Peggy that's on here with you guys. She was in charge of pretty much everything at the US Amps facility in Gainesville. James Mateus, what's up, brother? Love the new lines. Thank you. Somebody messaged me the other day about the 50HC I built you. I think it's still for sale on eBay or something, but yes. If you still have that 50HC and you don't want it, let me know. I'll gladly buy it back from you. I told you that when I built you those amps, buddy. If you didn't want them, just let me know and I'll buy them back from you. Gonna have to step my battery bank up soon to support that Merlin. My wire should be here this week. Oh, shit. Yes, Matt, shoot me a text message. I forgot to send you what you need. You did ask me for wire. Please remind me. Sorry, buddy. Bobby Gray, welcome. 8 to 30 cents a unit plus the software subscription. How costly is RFID shipping? RFID? I don't know what that means. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't really keep caught up. I was running my mouth too much, but it is 2:30. That means I've been on here for 2.5 hours. I am short a guy here and a guy down in the shop, so I do got to go because I got to get some of these orders. I still got invoices to make for people, and I have orders to fill. So thank you, guys. If I didn't get to your question or your message on here, feel free